Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Shazad, aka Shazaza. If you're new to my channel, I basically am just a skater from the East Coast who likes to make skateboard related videos. Today we're going to be checking out the newest truck from Thunders. These are the Thunder T2s. Now I've skated these trucks for months already, so I feel like I have a pretty good idea of how they are. Now let me preface this by saying that Thunder did not send me any of these trucks. I bought these trucks with my money, so you're gonna get an honest and genuine review out of me. Let's start off with how they look. Personally, I love how these trucks look. The look is very reminiscent of the original Thunder design, which I am a big fan of. I've always loved how sleek and just skinny the hangers looked on Thunders. And for the T2s, they retained that similar skinniness, but with just a little bit more beef on the hanger. Not much though. Like I said, still retains that nice sleek look, which I really appreciate. So let's get into the specs real quick. The Thunder T2s are about 54 millimeters tall. That makes them just slightly taller than the originals. About 2 millimeters, give or take, taller than the originals. Now that's something I really enjoy about these trucks because I feel like with higher trucks, you get a little bit more pop and you definitely get less wheel bite when you turn on higher trucks. And speaking of turning, let's get into how they turn because that's one of the main driving features that make this truck so appealing to me. I feel like they turn just so good. This is probably the best turning truck I've ever had. I've always loved skating the original Thunders, but they just never turned well for me. As you can see here, I've always just had to like play around with different bushings on them and I could just never get them to turn the way I wanted. I feel like their turn was always just too stable for me. But with the T2s and the new geometry and the new bushings, they just turn like a dream. They turn really good as soon as you get them and they don't tighten up too much and they just have a nice surfy feel that's like comparable to maybe like an Indy or an Ace truck. That's just one of the big upgrades that I'm really enjoying about the new T2s. The new design also makes it so that you slide more on the base plate rather than on your wheels. On the original Thunders, your wheels are way closer to the base plate, so when you're doing tail slides, you are sliding on the wheels a lot of the time. But on the T2s, there's just a little bit more base plate, and the base plate hangs out a little bit more, so you have way more space and are dragging way less on your wheels. I've really been enjoying that. I feel like my tail slides have definitely improved with the T2s. Another thing you'll notice is that the kingpin clearance on these trucks is actually pretty good for a non-inverted kingpin. I'd say they have just as much kingpin clearance as maybe the originals. The kingpin clearance is good enough to where I'm not hanging up on any of my Smiths or feeble grinds. So that goes to show that the clearance is enough and is not negatively impacting me in any way. And the T2s grind really good too. I've always loved how regular Thunders grinded and these grind very similar to regular Thunders. So I'm very happy with how they grind. Speaking of grinds, let's talk about how the T2s pinch. Now most people say that the originals pinch the best and continue to pinch better than any other trucks, including the T2s. But I have to disagree. I'm going to be an outlier because I feel like I pinch my tricks better on the T2s for some reason. I'm not sure why. I think it might have to do with the height of them. I think the height lets me like jump into my grinds a little bit easier and just be more comfortable when I'm in the grind. When I first got them, I felt like they weren't going to pinch as good, but I was very happily surprised with how well these pinched on my grinds. So when it comes to the weight of these trucks are definitely a little bit heavier than the originals, and I think that has to do with the beefier hanger. That extra weight hasn't really affected me at all. I feel like I'm still doing all my tricks just as good. My flat ground is unaffected, my grinds are unaffected. So despite it weighing a little more, I can't say that it negatively impacted my skating. And that's coming from somebody who usually only skates hollow trucks. The original Thunders, I skate with a hollow kingpin. I'm always skating hollow trucks. I was a little bit scared that these trucks were going to feel too heavy for me, but they weren't. So that's something I'm really happy about. All in all, the Thunder T2s are probably my favorite trucks out right now. They turn super good, pinch super good, grind super good, have decent kingpin clearance, not too heavy, not too light. They just feel like the perfect truck for me. And I feel like that's something that's really hard to come by because for all their trucks, I always have to modify them in some way, shape, or form. For the originals, I had to put 2 different bushings on them for them to turn the way I want them to. For other truck brands, I either have to really tighten the trucks down or loosen the trucks up a lot. And that's just always a headache, and it always makes me feel like I'm skating the truck kind of wrong. For me to have these trucks and never have tightened them or loosened them or anything just makes me feel like these are the right trucks for me because they just come the way I like to skate. That's my review of the Thunder T2s. Let me know what trucks you guys are currently skating. Have you guys tried the Thunder T2s? Let me know in the comments below. Love you guys so much, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.